Today, thousands of Central Texans rallied in the No Kings Day protest from Pflugerville to here in Austin to Dripping Springs. This was the third nationwide day of protests held in less than a year. Organizers say these were in part a response to the war in Iran and against actions taken by federal ICE agents in Minnesota. The president says the war in Iran is necessary to keep the country from developing a nuclear weapon. His administration also defends its immigration enforcement efforts, saying agents are on a mission to make the U.S. more safe. The No Kings rally in Austin was one of more than 3,000 events across the country. KVUE's Daniel Perot shows us how it wasn't just about frustration, but also hope.
From jazz at City Hall
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
to shuffling in the street,
There we go.
thousands holding signs and chanting
Our street.
as they marched to Auditorium Shores for a rally. The protests included speeches and performances from musicians, a drag queen, and community leaders.
I'm terrified with what's happening on a global level.
Protesters expressing frustration with Trump administration policies and actions like immigration enforcement, the Epstein files, and military activity in Iran and Venezuela.
We didn't get to choose whether or not we do that. They circumvented Congress.
I'm just devastated. I'm fighting for all these issues. It's not just one.
Nancy McCaskill feels she has a duty to speak up and attend the protest because of her late father.
We fought against fascism and authoritarian, dictatorship in World War II. So he would be here too, if he could.
Aaron Baxter came with a giant baby President Donald Trump on her shoulders.
It's inverse proportionally to how mad I am at him.
She says it's a symbolic message.
It's representation of the ridiculousness of our government and our president in particular.
Organizers hope these No Kings rallies and all these people gathered here isn't just a moment, but a movement where all this energy and enthusiasm can be harnessed for the November midterm election.
It gives you a sense of hope and a sense that things are going to change for the better.
Kevin Ty has been to 3 No Kings protests and keeps coming back because he says things are getting worse. He sees parallels to the Vietnam War protests, but says the number of young people in attendance gives him hope.
Older people understand what's going on, we have a sense of history because we've lived through it. It's hard to understand history if you hadn't lived through it.
Thousands of Texans united, now hoping to continue the momentum from Saturday into the future. Daniel Perot, KVUE News, Austin.
Daniel, thank you for the 2 previous No Kings protests. The state deployed DPS troopers and Texas National Guard members to Austin to respond to any violence. Neither was seen at Saturday's protest. South of Austin, people in Dripping Springs gathered in the streets. You can see some of them holding signs and wearing costumes. We also made it to Pflugerville. Here are some thoughts from protesters there.
We feel like this is something we can do to support and let people know how upset we are about the situation in the country right now with Trump's administration and some of the really awful decisions that have been made, starting to impact everybody financially. It's impacting people's health and safety, and he just needs to be stopped.
Round Rock had a demonstration of its own. Demonstrators told us some of their issues, including how the war is impacting the economy and fears of how certain groups of people are being treated.
We had a perfectly good economy. It was the envy of the world. We were fighting our inflation. We were productive. And then Trump came in and he just managed to mess it all up. He's got like a negative Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to crud.
Some Central Texans found unique ways to protest on a smaller scale. A viewer told us about this home in South Austin. Its front yard featured a display called the world's tiniest No Kings protest. Neighbors and visitors could make their own sign with materials left on a bench. The homeowner told us she wanted to make something accessible and for people like her who get overwhelmed at big protests.
I've had some people come by. I've mostly been inside the house so that people could enjoy it on their own, but I've seen some people looking, and I have had, in the lead up, some people made some signs for me.
She plans to keep the display up until tomorrow afternoon. The Trump administration has criticized the No Kings protests. According to The Guardian, a White House spokesperson credited the nationwide demonstrations to, quote, leftist funding networks, end quote, arguing that these events only matter to paid media reporters.